What's going on, gentlemen? Welcome to the Gamers League Week 4 status update. So, I'm going to try to do this every week if I can. If not, oh well, but we're going to try. Give you guys a little bit of a recap of last week's scores, and then also a look into the current week ahead, the matchups that we have coming up. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to do. And if there's any other news, anything like that, we will address it here if possible. So guys, welcome to the first one. I know it's taken a few weeks to do it. I've had to needed a little bit of time to get the studio set up, but we are here. We're ready to do this. And so let's look behind me and let's dig into what we have for the week 3 scores. There were some pretty good games there. A lot of falling from grace as well. So let's see how it goes. Start off with yours truly, the People's Commissioner, taking over Chris Riccio. Hurt from not having Chris McCaffrey. Don't think it would have done him any good if you ask me, but took him down. Greg Schnabel, right here, the only 3-0 team. We'll get to that later when we get into the standings and everything like that, but having a pretty strong week against Tony, taking him out pretty handily. My big shocker, I would almost even call him the dark horse of the league. We have Mr. Shaw coming in here 2-1, 2 wins in a row against the Wisconsin Fall Guys. Looking good, strong defensive play, good Tyreek Hill play. Tyreek Hill won him the game last week, so that was a pretty good showing. Our newcomer Joseph with Kashyyyk let the Wookiee win. Just got trounced by Dave. The replacements coming in strong, 122 points. That's tough to beat any week. Any week, that is tough to beat. Joseph not putting up bad points, pushing 100. So maybe next week his team will fire on all cylinders, and he'll have a really good week. But we'll see how that goes. Best of luck to him, especially this week, because he is going up against the only undefeated team. Again, more on that later. The No Wookiees won handily, 134-92, against the Sticky Dildo, Jonathan Peele, who has been the number 1 team this year so far. I mean, he was doing like 140, 150 points a week in week 1 and 2, killing it. Easily the strongest team. But this week, 92 points, that is a sophomoric effort, to say the least, for Mr. Peele. And then rounding out the final scores, Poe Montamarin got himself his first win. He was feeling down on himself. He had auto draft, unfortunately, but 104 is a good comeback against Trenton Trout, who only scored 102. So those are the scores from last week, week 3, and we're going to go into the standings real quick and look at the divisions. Again, Password is Taco, the reigning champ, Greg Schnabel, the only 3-0 team in the league. Maybe that ends this week. Maybe an underdog takes him out. We'll see. We got Shaw and the Wisconsin Fall Guys at 2-1 and 1-2 respectfully. Over at Team Microsoft, we have the triple Wookiee teams. I love how that randomly came down to each other, being all the Wookiee teams in that one division. But we have the Bowcasters, Chris Riccio at 2-1, holding on even though he has a lot of injuries. It'll be interesting to see what happens in that division. We have the No Wookiees, and then the Kashyyyk let the Wookiee win at 102 and 0-3. Respectfully, I will be keeping my eye on the 3-0 Password is Taco versus the 0-3 let the Wookiee win. That'll be an interesting game. I just have a nagging suspicion it'll be interesting. And then going into the Nintendo League, yours truly ahead 2-1, tied 2-1 with Dave, the replacements. But I think I have points on him right now. And then in third is the Full Doors Tony. And then we have the PC Master Race, the strongest team. Up until this past week, the Sticky Dildo up 2-1, Trenton Trout, Poe Montamarin, both 1-2. There are going to be some tight divisions, for sure. I think there are going to be some really, really tight divisions this year. I'm looking forward to the competition. But going into this next week coming up, yours truly going up against the No Wookiees. I'm going to be up pretty big. Right now it's showing I have a projected 90 to 84 lead on him right now. That could mean anything, but I also have only 8 players starting right now. My trade with Shaw, I'm going to end up getting Stephon Diggs up in there, and that'll push me over the 100 mark. So I'm feeling really confident about that game. Again, anything can happen. It's fantasy football. We got Team Shaw going up against the Full Dorse. 2 teams that they could go any direction, to be honest with you. They're both projected 85 to 82. Actually, it looks like Tony has only 8 players starting right now. So Tony needs to go ahead and get his 9th player up there. And then it looks like he'll probably have the projected lead on Team Shaw. Password is Taco. Both teams here for Let the Wookiee Win and Password is Taco both have all 9 of their players up. 94 to, what is that? 88.8. So a slight lead for the champ, the people's champ, Greb Schnabel. Going into the next one, Wisconsin Fall Guys versus the Replacements. Again, the Fall Guys have 85 versus Dave's 88, but Fall Guys have only 8 players up right now. They need to put another player up. That'll probably put him over on the projected lead. That will be a tight game, I think. It will be a tight lead. And look, if Dave's past history is any inclination here, man, I'm going to tell you, he's probably going to put up 115, 120, probably easily. He's got a really solid team there. And then we have the Sticky Dildo versus Poe Montamarin. This is a tight one. All their players are up to play. Unless there are any late week substitutions, we're looking at 102.4 to 101.1. This could be a nail biter. The Poe Montamarin team is really coming back. I think they're gonna surge strong. So you're looking at a Sticky Dildo team who started off the first 2 weeks really strong, and then you have Poe, who started off very weak, but had a really good strong week, and his players might be firing on all cylinders. They might be on the same page real soon. And if that's the case, look, we know how he plays. He's been up there in the playoffs with us the last 2 years, and I don't see a sign of that dying down. So we'll see how that goes. And then we have Christopher Riccio and the Kashyyyk Bowcasters, again with injuries. Major injuries, losing your first round pick. The first pick in the entire draft is going to be tough every single time. Going up against the Trenton Trout, 93 to 97. Slight edge to the Trout. Maybe they can pull this one out. And if that's the case, if Chris loses this one, that Wookiee division is going to be really tight. It'll be an interesting division to keep an eye on and everything. But gentlemen, and last thing, we need to talk about the postponement. We have the Titans and the Steelers game. Let's give a hearty thank you to the state of Tennessee for probably fucking up and making my Steelers not be able to play because I'm losing James Conner this week, which is unfortunate, but I think the team is strong enough to hold off. Word around the campfire is that this is going to be the new bye week for teams like Pittsburgh, and then if I don't know when their next bye week is, but say it's week 8, maybe they'll play in week 8. We don't know how it's going to work. It's going to be really weird. And we don't have a date. It's later in the season. It could be a week from now. We don't know, and we don't know how that's going to affect the scores. If somehow I can get I don't know. I'm not even gonna speculate on what that could mean. It's gonna be a really weird season, and this proves it because there's no way in hell that this is the last time we're gonna have a COVID issue this season. It's week 3 for our first one. Guaranteed by week 6, we're probably going to have another one, and it's going to be a similar situation. So, guys, if you're not losing a Titan or Steeler this week, keep an eye on what's happening, and it'll give you a good idea on how to react if one of your starters is put in this situation, because right now I'm having to deal with it. It's not fun, but I think we'll overcome. So, anyway, guys, that's it for last week's scores. The standings and the matchups. Hopefully I'll be back next week with another update on how everything's going. It won't be as long-winded as this. I don't know, maybe it's me. But yeah, we'll be back next week. So the Commish signing off. I wish all you bitches the worst luck. See ya.